Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you. Today we're taking a look at a Civivi. This is the Sinisys. This knife's been around for a while. Pretty large knife, really attractive design. And of course, you guys know the larger knives always appeal to me. Now, I mentioned this in the first impressions. This is a stainless steel frame lock. Not something we see a whole lot. I mean, in the budget realm, we do see quite a few of these, but Civivi has not done that many. And I tried to remember, and I did go back through my reviews. I couldn't find a review of a stainless steel liner lock from Civivi, but I feel like I know there have been some. There was a couple small ones that came out last year for sure, but nonetheless, that's what it is. That's what we're dealing with here. Attractive clip point design, full size knife. Overall, this is a simple flipper with a nice looking design and good functionality. It's slim enough to carry easily in pocket. The action is very, very enjoyable, which is essentially, it's a Civivi. Um, so we're kind of used to that at this point. The size on this guy, it's 8.5 inches overall, 3 and 11/16 on the blade, 4 and 7/8 when it's closed. All right, so just a bit under 5 inches there, 3 3/4 inches of grip area. All right, plus that pretty generous finger choil, which I do really, really appreciate. 4.9 ounces. The stainless steel frame lock does add a little bit of weight. But they haven't, by the way, it's a stainless steel frame lock. This side is burlap micarta, but it's also got a nicely nested stainless steel liner in there as well. Okay, so that's kind of where that weight is coming from. And there's no weight relief on the stainless steel side either. And that's probably to help them hit the price point that we're going for. This is one of the more affordable Civivis. Civivi is already an affordable brand, but a lot of their a lot of their knives are in that, yeah, what would you say, 65 to $80. This is still in that lower price point that they used to always hit when they first came out, around $45 or something like that. Nice knife overall. I really, really like this design. Let's get into some of the details, starting with the blade, the way that we always do. So up front here, we have 14C28N steel, flat ground, clip point blade with a bit of a swedge. There's some jimping here where your thumb lands, generous finger choil, and there's just a little bit of a swoop in there on the blade spine. Bead blasting is not my favorite. I feel like even just making this blade satin would have improved it quite a bit. I just find bead blasting, now 14C28 is not prone to rust, so I'm not too worried about that, but I just find bead blasting dulls out all of the contrast in the blade. One of the things that I love about knife blades is checking out these grind lines and noticing how clean and precise they are. And Civivi does a great job, but then you kind of hide all that with bead blasting. So for that reason, I'm not in love with that. That's really the only thing I'm not happy with about the blade. I would like to see it a little bit thicker. But that's really an unfair criticism. It's not like I didn't know what thickness the blade was before. But to give you an idea, here's our Rat Model 1, which is around 1/8 of an inch. And you can see it's a little thinner than the Rat Model 1. Not crazy, crazy thinner, but a little bit. Okay, while we're doing this, let's throw in a little more of a hefty blade. This is the Real Steel H6. All right, 14C28 again on that one. We'll bring it in again for comparison at the end. So that's the blade. I do enjoy this blade. It slices like a dream, very, very thin behind the edge. And 14C28N is a great, great steel. Action is typical Civivi, right? We've got a stainless steel liner lock with an over travel stop. And man, that thing just deploys beautifully. It's satisfying, it's fast, it's comfortable, both to deploy and to unlock. So nothing at all to complain about. Typical Civivi bearing action, just absolutely great. The stainless steel frame lock is attractive, and the bead blasting kind of matches. There's a bit of silver there on the hardware. We've got a deep carry clip with flush screws, but it's not recessed, which is totally fine. The construction is standoff construction. I already mentioned that we have a very nicely nested, I don't know if I can show it to you. Let's see, maybe on this side you'll be able to see it better. You can sort of catch a bit of a glimpse of the steel liner here under that burlap micarta scale. So nicely done in that department. The burlap is nice, does add a good traction plan, and it is comfortable in hand. If you had to get a lot of work done with a folding knife, which, I know, guys, if you're going to be doing all kinds of really serious long-term work, you're going to want a fixed blade. But nonetheless, if you had to, this is comfortable and capable. Let me throw in a few. Oh yeah, you can see it is drilled out on this side over here so that you could reverse that pocket clip if you wanted to. Forgot to mention that one point. Now, having run through all of that, let's get a couple of comparisons in here. So here is a Rat Model 1 in D2. You can see it's developing a bit of rust there around the thumb stud, probably because that's where your finger touches it all the time. Here is a Real Steel H6. 14C28N liner lock. Both of these are on washers instead of on bearings. All right, but in terms of, budget offerings that are good performers, I thought these were good. Not only that, but everyone kind of knows about the size and ergonomics on those, so you can kind of compare it for yourself. Let's throw in here a Kaiser. This is going to be more expensive for sure. This is the XL bag letter, one of my favorite Kaisers of all time, if not my favorite Kaiser of all time. And last but not least, a Para 2, more for size than anything, just because everyone is familiar with it. So there are a couple of size comparisons and a couple of, alternative budget offerings that you might want to look at if you're looking at this. Overall, I think Civivi has done a good job here. There are a couple of versions of this available, so if you don't like this particular setup, there's one with a Damascus blade for sure. I think there's one with there are a couple with black blades and maybe purple and green handles or something like that. So there are some options out there. They were still in stock over at White Mountain Knives. Please go ahead and check them out. You can use my discount code SHARPSTUFF. Also check out Blade Ops and DLT Trading. The links will be in the description box down below. I will thank you for watching and talk to you soon.